Greetings and hello there. This is Edna White. I am so glad you are with me today. We've got something really great today because I think I had a couple of revelations over the weekend about myself. And I want to talk to you today about got boundaries, addressing emotional immaturity in family dynamics. So here it is. We're setting the stage. If you ever felt unheard, dismissed, or emotionally drained by a parent, you're in the right place today. I want you to pay close attention to what I got to say because this is really, really important. Today, we're going to dive into what emotional immaturity looks like and how it affects you and how to set boundaries for your emotional well being. And I'm talking about from your parent. This is for young adults, this is for adult children like myself. This is for every dynamic to navigate this because emotional well being is important for you as a person to even get a sense of who you are. If you're becoming a young adult, 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, you're in that area. If you're an older person who's maybe caring for another parent, or the parent is getting older in their 70s, you're seeing this, but you saw it before, but you didn't know what it was. This is the place right now. Hey, by the way, drop a waving hand or something in the chat and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. So wave at me. Give me a little wave. Tell me where you're from. And if you're listening, because this is going to change your trajectory. See my tongue. So, what's my story? Looking back, I can see that a lot of my parenting mistakes came from my own unresolved emotions. Coming from a dysfunctional family who came from a dysfunctional family, who came from a dysfunctional situation, and then having children at a young age, not being taught how to be a parent, not knowing what a parent is. I didn't fully understand emotions. So I ended up deflecting mine onto my kids. I overshared with them. I leaned on them for emotional support. And I even made them pseudo best friends. And let me not even get to my boys. Unknowingly, I created pseudo husbands dynamics with my sons. Not in an inappropriate way, but just, you know what I'm talking, pseudo husband, meaning that I was in their business. I was choosing their girlfriends. I was all of that stuff. I was putting my 10 cent in where it didn't belong. You know what I'm talking about. In a sense, that became my entire world. They did. They became my entire world. Why? A broken kid had kids of her own, and they became my kids, part of my identity. I lost my own individuality. So when they struggled, I took it as my personal failure instead of seeing it as their own journey of learning and growth and being able to give them feedback and direction and help them. I was feeling bad in my own shit, as it were. I didn't always give them the guidance they needed to navigate their own lives. Sounding familiar? Raise a hand, raise both hands, holla. One of my biggest turning points as a parent came when I remarried. Even though my children were not, they weren't adults, they were like 13, 18, 19, somewhere in there. And then my oldest son was in his 20s. I saw confusion and hurt in their eyes, especially for my youngest son and my daughter. The moment, that moment made me realize how much I unconsciously leaned on them for emotional support, but shared nothing else that was drastically changing in my life with them. So I was partly open, partly truthful, right? But for my own good, not for their good. I hadn't included them in my decision to remarry, and it made me see that I had been using them more than I ever realized. Sounds familiar? That experience opened my eyes, and that was 2002, right? To that emotional enmeshment I had created. And it forced me to step back and reevaluate how I was showing up as a mother. It was a painful but necessary wake up call. And from that point on, I did my very best to be emotionally balanced first for myself, in myself, by myself, to be there, present emotionally for them. So let's understand emotional immaturity in parents. What is it? What is it? It's when adults lack emotional regulation, self awareness, and struggle to handle deep, meaningful conversations. Everything surface. How are you today? Good. All right. Got a girlfriend? Yeah, I do. Okay. Here's a condom. Here's some pills. But never having a conversation about what sex is, what your body looks like. None of that. I'll leave it to the schools. That's what I was told. So I'm sitting in front of you remember that. You remember I'm sitting in front of the screen at sex ed and I'm going, what? You think it's confusing when you don't hear it from home? It's definitely worse. Still didn't know what it was. Laughed a lot, giggled a lot, had no idea. Right? That's what it looks like, not knowing something, but being told to take care of it like you're a full adult and know what you're doing. Exactly. What are the common traits of that? They lack of empathy, defensive, defensive and blame shifting. Well, if you don't graduate, that's your fault. Oh, you got a baby now? Oh, that's your fault. Avoidance of difficult topics. Let's talk about the vagina. Can't talk about that. Go to the doctor. Let's take you to the doctor. Let's let school do it. What is marriage? Here's a book and walk away. When somebody touches me, I don't think it's right. Okay, I'll tell them to stop, but never explaining to them what was it about. Reacting or shutting down. Those subjects come up. Oh, talk to your dad. Oh, talk to your mom. Oh, talk to your grandmother. Oh, I'll send you to the school guidance counselor. I'll send you to therapy. I'll give you medication. I'll let you smoke weed. How's that? And then making everything about them. I know this is heavy today. I told you it was going to be heavy when I had this whole conversation with myself. I'm telling you, this past weekend, realization is a mother. So, I already shared with you my real life now, right? So, have you ever had a parent dismiss you and your feelings? Like you're too sensitive? or just get over it, red flag, red flag. I'm telling you, young adults, right now, if you're listening to me, you're watching me, this is what it looks like. This is what emotional immaturity in your parents look like. Been through it, did it, ain't gonna do it no more. I'm being responsible right now to tell everybody out there, using my audience to talk about this. Okay? So I want to know, and I want you all that's in my chats right now saying hi to me and all of this, have you ever felt unheard or invalidated by a parent? And if you're real brave, what was that experience like? I'll give you a couple seconds because I had a couple seconds this entire weekend. I'm going to ask you again. Everybody who's in my chat right now, have you ever felt unheard or invalidated by a parent? Think about it. What was that experience like? Now, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But I'm here to give you what I thought about today. Okay. And when I went through on the weekend. So, what's the impact of adults on adult children or on young adult children, and why do boundaries matter? Well, the emotional burden, the heavy weight that you feel, the not being able to look in anybody's eyes that you feel, the uncertainty that you wake up every day you feel that maybe I should wear dark clothes today, feeling maybe I'm just not worth it kind of feeling, maybe I need to be isolated type of feeling, guilt and obligation. My children felt the same that I felt with my mom. I was obligated to feel her pain. I was obligated to step into her stuff. I was obligated. Yeah, I might not have given them all of what I was going through. I might not have argued in front of them. I might not have done a lot of things in front of them, but I did. They felt it. And I didn't talk to them about it. I just let them go around thinking everything was okay. I gave them too much guilt and too much obligation on my behalf, not theirs. It suppresses emotions to keep the peace. It makes the kids quiet. So they don't tell you nothing and you don't want to hear nothing. My kids, thankfully, I think they got that from their dad, and maybe my father, were very open to tell me. Maybe I had to choke it down a couple of times because it didn't feel too good. But I instantly learned I had to hear them because I did a lot of damage along the way. So get off your high horses, all you adult parents. Get off of that. I'm not telling you let the kids run over you. I'm telling you you're suppressing their emotional, abilities just so they can keep the peace because they don't want to hear y'all crap. They don't want to hear your crap. Just saying. Another emotional burden is struggling with self-worth and people pleasing. They always will self-worth. Now, self-esteem is out here. Self-worth is in here. When you give them that gut punch that they're not even certain that they're worth anything, oh, man, that's the worst. Because they're bent over, their body shows it, that they don't believe they're worth nothing. Yeah, it was a tough pill for me to swallow too. I know. I had to swallow that. Tough. And then they started pleasing people, even though these people were nasty to them, rude to them. They started people pleasing, doing what somebody else said to do, following the crowd, trying to be validated, being in positions or situations where they had to be big, and show themselves and end up hurting them on the long run. Yeah, I know it's heavy. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell me. So why is setting boundaries unnecessary? Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about protecting yourself. You have to set them. You have to use your voice to set them. If you can't verbalize it, you have to write it out. Because I find writing sometimes makes it sound a lot better, and then you can be able to, yeah, that sounds better. You could be able to write it out. Those little love notes you used to give your little girlfriends and your boyfriends. It sounds so much better coming from you on a piece of paper, right? Maybe you could do that. But you don't have to keep the piece because that's not your piece. They're giving you pieces, PIECESs, but not PEACE. That's not your pieces. You want peace. Peace starts in here, and with self-worth starts in here. So how do you know that you need to set some boundaries? How do you know it? What's the signs? You feel drained after conversations with them. Boy, are you right. I can't tell you. I'm telling you, this is all out of my evaluation this weekend. Yeah, gotta get a hobby. Okay. You feel drained after conversations with them. You avoid sharing personal struggles because they dismiss you and then turn it into a conversation about them. Yeah, I remember in 2000, blah, 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 when I was blah, blah, blah. I had the same incident, blah, blah, blah. And it's no longer about you. The third thing that I was a big victim of was I felt like I was a parent in the relationship. I, throughout my entire life, became the parent of my sisters and brothers and to my own mother in our dynamic until I gave it up in 2013. I gave it up. Yeah, I remember the day, February 13th, 2013. I gave it up. Gave it up. As soon as I found out I got a divorce. But that's besides the point. So now I want to ask you guys. I see some hit ups in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, everybody. I don't want to ignore anybody, but I think I need to get this topic out. But listen, what boundaries have you set with your emotional, immature family members or family? Family or mother. What have you said? Well, one for me as an adult was I want you to listen without responding because I want to be able to have someone just to be there to support me. Would that be all right? And then me, in the training days when I presented that to my mom, she would start to go on a tangent about herself, and I said, "It's not about you. I just need you to listen. Maybe you need to do that." So, what boundaries have you set with your emotionally immature family members or your parent? Put it in the chat box. I'd love to hear from you. More than hi. More than hi. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, what are the strategies? Here's some strategies that you can do for yourself, right? To make these changes because I have been doing them for myself. All right. And they have to be consistent. They have to be consistent around the clock. So make sure that you're going to be doing them. Make sure that you put this on your calendar to do for yourself, right? Detach emotionally. You can't change them, period. But you can change how you respond. I'm going to say it again. Number one, detach emotionally. You can't change them, but you can change how you respond. Two, set clear boundaries. For example, I won't discuss my personal life with you if you keep invalidating my feelings. Simple and easy. Three, limit exposure. Not all parents deserve full access to your emotional energy. Four, find external support, therapy, journaling, or connecting with others who understand. Okay? Put those down in the book. So, what boundaries out of those four that I gave you? What one? Let's start with one. Are you likely to set? Starting today, starting now, if you need to. Pick one. Detach emotionally. That's number one. Set clear boundaries. That's number two. Limit exposure. That's number three. And number four is find support. Put one, two, three, or four in the comment section below. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right. So, what's my closing thoughts for you today? Because I think you deserve so much more. I know that I do. And me coming into this realization and learning these things, I wanted to hurry up and tell you about this. Hurry up and share with you about these things. Healing isn't about fixing them, it's about freeing yourself. And you have to take those steps, those next steps, to set up those boundaries. If anything that I've said today resonated with you, DM me or put in the chat boundaries. Put it in the chat. And for more tips or any for more tips that are coming your way, like, subscribe, and just keep a check on my page, especially if I'm coming for you on LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok. Keep a lock on my page for upcoming talks like this and workshops that I'm doing and master classes. Okay, your peace is worth protecting. You are not responsible for their emotional growth, only your own.